Hello, my name's Ethan, and I help skinny men build an attractive physique to grow rear delts. I never used to target my rear delts until 1 year of going to the gym. I never used to target my rear delts until 1 year into the gym. I was quite known as the guy with bolder shoulders. I used to be in the changing room and I just put on like this tank top. I'll show you a picture if I can find it. And my shoulders would stand out more than anything else. So I was known as boulder shoulders. But one day, my friend, he's been training for like a bit longer than I have, about 3, 4 months longer than I have. And he saw my shoulders and he saw how badly developed my shoulders were. And straight away, he said to me, Ethan, you have really bad rear delts. And I just agreed because I knew I wasn't training my rear delts. So I just agreed and started training them straight away. Later on, about a month or two later, I stopped training my rear delts. Didn't train my rear delts for a long time. But recently, the past few months, I've been training my rear delts again. And they have been the biggest they have ever been in my whole life. I went through using loads of different exercises. I've used some exercises that just felt pointless, but I still use them week in, week out. And maybe I looked over them, but doing them just felt uncomfortable to do. And some genuinely just didn't get me results. But I've worked it down to these two exercises for you to do. The first one that I stand by and that I made myself just from testing is low cable face pulls. I believe I have a video of me doing this, so I can show you on screen of me doing this. But it's just where you go into the cable machine, put the cable to the lowest it can go. Don't think it can go like, don't act as if, oh yeah, I can't put it too low because I'm quite tall. Just put it as far down as it goes, all the way to the bottom. And then just get the rope attachment, and how you hold the ropes can change quite a bit. So you want to hold it, not like a tricep push down, you just hold it where it's just straight. You want to bend the ropes back on itself a bit. So it's now like, it's like a V, like an L, like an L shape. So now you've got the ropes and you've bent it. Don't know why I've turned. So you've bent it and now it's an L. You sort of understand what to do. You'll see in the video. And then you're just going to row backwards, but not straight back where it's sort of like shrugging. You want to row at a bit of an angle, a bit out, to try and find the best way to do it. You can use the attachment, which is a handle. You probably use them on like chest flyers or decline chest flyers and the cables. Maybe you use it for biceps. The handles. Get one of the handles, and instead of using the ropes, just use a handle. And then with the other hand, do this. Put your other hand on the rear delts. And when you row, you're going to feel the most tension in your anterior delt, your posterior delts. This means that there's a lot of tension on the muscle, and that's the correct form to do. Moving on to the second exercise, which is reverse pec deck. You've probably already seen this exercise, you probably even do it yourself. But it's just a great exercise to do because it already gives you the form. But if you want to take it further, move the seat up or down, just so your shoulders are straight and in line, not on an angle or anything. They're just straight. And you can pull all the way back and out. Just in case you was curious of some of the exercises that I've tried, I've made a list. So I'm going to read the list of the ones I've tried. I've tried bent over dumbbell flies. This is where you stand, just bend over. Instead of doing rows with like a barbell, you're just doing dumbbell flies back. Then I've done face pulls, the normal height and the the incline instead of decline. That just felt very awkward. Felt like you was being pulled towards the machine a lot more. Because when it's down, it's lower. You can have a lot stronger. It's just stronger. It's a lot easier to just push away from the machine and just pull back. So it's easier to just do more weight as well. I've also tried some 90-degree stiff arm face pulls. These I actually done these for quite a while because I thought they were working. But as soon as I found the decline ones, changed everything. Now, a 90-degree stiff arm face pull sounds very weird. What even is this? Well, it's where here's the cables. I just get my arms 90 degrees, and you're just going back. You're just going back. And that's it. Oh yeah, yeah. That's how you do it. Yeah, I forgot. Not done that for a while. It's just like this, cables, and you're just rotating your shoulder. That was decent, but it felt very weird. And then that's it. That's the ones I can really remember doing. But I've always done reverse pec deck is like the best way to train my rear delts. The best thing about rear delts is that you can even see them through your top. Once you grow them, that's what I noticed. That's what I really liked about them. When you grow your rear delts, they come out from your top, same as your lateral delts. But it's just different. Your lateral delts make you look wider, but your rear delts, you see the details. You see the details of them because everything else around them doesn't stand out as much. Your upper back stands out a bit, but that's already detailed in itself. Then your rear delts are to the side, and they really show through your top. So that's quite a cool thing that I noticed. Never see accessory muscles as a second muscle. This goes against its own saying by calling them an accessory muscle. But what even are accessory muscles? Well, these are just the muscles that most people neglect. You can probably list a few without me even telling you right now. Just list a few, just in your head right now. Okay, enough time, enough time. So, you have traps, forearms, abs, neck, and that's pretty much it. These muscles get massively overlooked, which means it's just going to be the thing that you can be ahead with. You can be ahead of the competition by really focusing on these muscles. And by treating them as a secondary muscle rather than a chest or your back, which you'll see is the first muscle you need to prioritize, it's going to mean you're just going to forget about them. You should treat all the muscles on the same level. You shouldn't really see them as lower or higher quality muscles. Now, there are some muscles that are more appealing and will get you more attention from women. But what I'm trying to say is that for you, you shouldn't see a muscle as not worthy to be trained because it's just going to mean your physique is worse. Unless if it's something like obliques, which could potentially ruin your physique. That's going to be covered in other videos where I talk about abs. If you just follow my videos and the advice I give, it's all covered, it's all done. The work is already being done. You don't need to overthink about it. So, for the last time I'm going to say it, don't treat them as a secondary muscle because then you will neglect them, which means your whole physique will be underdeveloped. Different speeds for different reps. Now this one can get a bit complicated because I'm using more terms such as eccentric and potentially I start using terms such as concentric. This just means the tension and the different types of motions within a rep. So you have 2 movements within a rep. You have the concentric, which is where the muscle becomes under more tension. And then you have eccentric, whereas the muscle is going from being under tension to going to being under less tension. I think I said that in like the most complicated way, but I'll explain it as I'm going through. So there's 2 things, such as a partial rep and a clean rep. Like I've just said, there's 2 types of movements within a rep, and now there's 2 reps. There's going to be a lot of information very quickly. So let me break this down. A clean rep. A clean rep is where you do the full range of motion. I always use this example for biceps, probably because I do biceps fairly regularly. I actually quite like doing them. So you have a curl, a bicep curl. This is when you curl. The full range of motion will be going from when your arm is straight to when your arm is at its peak amount. You don't need to go here, cramp. You don't need to go all the way up to your shoulder, because now your muscle isn't really under the most amount of tension. It doesn't need to go that far. It just needs to go about here. That's your full rep. Now, what does a partial look like? Well, a partial is just partially some of the rep. So it'll come to maybe a bend. It can come to pretty much anywhere, as long as it doesn't come all the way to where you actually would do the full clean rep. It could also go the other way around. This is where it's going to get even more complicated. You might have seen 21s. This is where you go from the top, and it's just the other way around. You go to the middle. That's also partials. Now that's covered, we can now talk about how to actually do different speeds and what a clean rep and partial rep should look like. For your clean rep, it's going to be a more controlled and more slower on the eccentric movement, which means going down is going to be slower. You're going to go up, general speed. You don't need to go fast, you don't need to rush it. You can actually tear your biceps, tear muscles by going too fast. There's no need. Just go at moderate speed and then control going down. Naturally, when you're controlling going down, it's just going to be slower. So that's why people say go slower on the eccentric. But it's also going to be tension focused. But you're also going to be tension focused the whole way through. You are going to be focused on tension throughout the whole movement. So let's say you was doing a lat pull down. You're going to pull moderate speed to your back. And then when you're actually tensed, you're going to focus on how much you're tensing to see if you should lower the weight on the next rep, or if you should maybe move your form, change your form to have more tension on the muscle. This just means that you're constantly going to be improving on your form, on your training. It's just a good thing to do. Now, your partial rep is almost the opposite. It's going to be faster. You're going to maybe even use momentum, so it's less controlled, but you're still going to pay attention to the tension, but only when you're at the peak. So for, let's say, curls again, if you curl, when you're doing a partial rep, you only curl into there, and you only focus on the tension when you're actually at the peak, because you're going faster. So it's only there. You go, oh yep, I've got tension. I've keep on getting the tension. And then that's how you focus on the tension when you're doing partial reps. So what's my reasoning behind this? Well, your clean reps are going to build up to your partial reps within the same set. So this means for your clean reps, you're going to take your time with it, so it's more time under tension. This means there's going to be more tension on the muscle, and it's going to be more fatigued for when you do your partials. That's why your partials have a less range of motion. Your partial reps are only there for more tension on the muscle. This is why you do it straight after doing your clean reps. No breaks, just go for it. Just go straight into training. You might say to me, why don't you take your time with partial reps as well, if you're going to have more tension from time under tension? And the simple answer is, you're just not going to be able to, because you're already fatigued from the clean reps. When it comes to the partial reps, you're not going to be able to take your time with them. So then for you to get back to the peak part of the movement, you're either going to have to cheat through momentum, or you can either create a new peak for the movement. So what do I mean by you're going to create a new peak? Well, that just means you're going to see where the most range of motion you can outdo is. You might think that, oh yeah, he's doing clean reps, so when he comes to partial reps, he chooses to just go halfway. No, you're not going to be able to do the full range of motion when it comes to partial reps. You do your last one, you get the full clean rep, and you're not going to be able to do clean rep again unless if you wait 5 seconds, and then you can. But if you don't, you go straight into partials, which you should do for more tension. You're then just going to go there. Your range of motion is now limited. Not many people make it this far into a low dopamine video. But if you did, then you should be proud of yourself. If the information in this video has helped you, make sure to go to Ethan Higgins 001 on Instagram. In there, you can see the link in my bio. That's for my paid community, so you can meet more people like yourself and find more information like this. Goodbye.